Before that, uh, can anybody tell me how to create or how to launch instance on AWS? I just want the steps, that's it. Because the screenshots are attached into the next slides. But can anyone tell me how to launch instances on AWS? You can unmute yourself or you can simply type your answer in the chat box. Yeah, if you have to go to EC2 instance, then what is the next step? Launch instance. Correct. And then as per your requirement, you can search it in the search box and then you can select the respective instance. Okay. So in today's practical, we require Ubuntu instance. So that's why we are going to first create a Ubuntu instance. So please go to the EC2 instance, then click on the launch instance and type Ubuntu. In the search box, type Ubuntu. You will get a list of Ubuntu instances or server which are there available on the AWS. Select this one 18.04 LTS and make sure free tier eligible. This option is there along with the Ubuntu server. Check the data 64-bit and then click on the select button. Done. Shall I go to the next slide? Yes. Done. Okay. Now next one is this. They will ask to choose an instance type. So since we are using free account, please select T2.micro free tier eligible. This one. Now here you not to take a screenshot because I will share you the screenshot on how to create the Ubuntu instance. After that, whatever the commands, whenever you're going to type it, you have to take a screenshot of that command only. Okay. So right now, don't take any screenshot. Please click on this T2 and then next one. Then third step is configure instance details. Here you need not to do anything. Number of instance, keep it as one. Don't do anything. Simply click on the next one, that is add storage. Then you will get this message, add storage. Right now we are doing it only for the demo purpose. Okay, so that's why 8 GB is enough for us. But suppose if you want to perform any project, your BE project or master project or any project, so for that, as respect of your project, you can here select the size respect to your project. Okay, so don't do anything over here. If suppose it's 8 GB is not there, then please you can write down the 8 GB. After that, click on the add tags. Done. Are you guys with me, or am I going fast, or am I going too slow? Because I can't see any messages in the chat box. So please. Okay. Proper. Okay. Fine. So now here in add tags, you have to add name. So please click on the add new tag. Okay, and then select key, that is name, and give value. Right now I have given a value as KTS management server. You can give any name. Done. After that, click on the configure security group. Done. Now see, here are two options. Okay, so if you remember in last lecture we have already created a security group. Okay, so you can select an existing security group, you can click on it, and then you can select the security group name like launch wizard 1, launch wizard 2, like that. And then you can simply click on it, and you can click on the review and launch. But if you want to create a new security group, then please click on the create new security group, and then simply add HTTP, custom TCP rule, SSH, and HTTPS. And with this port range. Port range will come by default, but if it's not there, then please make sure for HTTP 80 is the port range, for custom TCP 8080 is the port range, whereas sources should be anywhere.
Ma'am, we create new or
Usually you will
select.
get you can use a existing security group, but still if you don't want to make any confusion, you can create a new security group and simply add these types and protocols, and
Excuse me,
after
ma'am.
that you can click on the review and launch.
Ma'am, we created this one the last
I
time, so
give
it
you
is.
2-3 minutes
Hello, ma'am.
to create a security group. Just let me know once it is finished. Done? Or do you need some more time to create a security group? Yes, this is already there. Yes, yes, yes. Since you have created last time, but still, if you want to create the new one just to avoid the confusion, then you can okay, then you can simply click on this new security group and you can create it. And if you and those who want to select the existing security group, then you can click on it, this here, select existing security group, and they can you can use it. So if you are comfortable with the existing security group, then go for it. But if you are confused with it, then you can create a new security group. Just let me know once you are finished with creating the group. So those who are finished, please click on here review and launch. Here you will get a details that which instance type that you have selected, then what is the details of AMI, everything you will get a details of it. Just simply have a look at it, and after that click on the launch button. Just have a look which instance are there, then what is the memory, what is there and what is not. Because in Viva, external may ask you that while creating the Kubernetes, which Ubuntu server you have used, then what is the version of it, so which instance you have used. So just simply have a look at it. Then after that, click on the launch button. You will get this screen. Select an existing pair or create a new key pair. Are you sorry? Are you getting this screen? Key pair. Yes. So now, if you remember, we have already created the key pair in last lecture, right? So now there is no need to create a new key pair. Okay. So here, instead of create a new key pair, you can scroll it down and you can select the existing key pair, and then after that your key pair name will come over here, and then you can click on the launch instance. Select the existing key pair option. Key pair name will come automatically, and please click on the launch instance. Then you will get this message that your instance are now launching, and it is launched like that. These are the screenshot from the previous experiments where key pair was not created. So are you getting this screen launch status that your instance are now launching? No, don't take screenshot. No, we'll take a screenshot whenever you write the command. No, at that time we'll take a screenshot. This screenshot I'll provide you this screenshot so you can attach in your my screenshots in your experiments. Done. So this is the first steps. So in first steps we have successfully installed the Ubuntu server or Ubuntu instance, you can say that. Now next step is, now we have to connect the instances, okay, Ubuntu instance with the AWS. So how to do that is, open the Putty application, means in search box simply type Putty. I'll show you the screen, just
Ma'am,
wait a minute.
ma'am, ma'am,
No, I can't hear you. I can see your message, but is anyone speaking? Because I can't hear you. Am I audible to all of you? Yes, okay, okay. Yeah, please click on the view instance. Click on the view instance. I'll share my screen. I'll show you how to connect with the Putty server, okay? Share the entire screen. Now, in the second step, what you have to do is, you have to, here in the search box, type Putty, this one, this application, click on it, open. You will get this screen, Putty configuration. Are you getting it? Putty configuration screen. Yes, okay. Now what you have to do is, go to your AWS account, okay? Click on the instance. In that, details will be there, okay? So in that, just select the IPv4 address, public IPv4 address. So in the last lecture, we have pasted the IP address over here. Same thing you have to do. Paste that IP address of your instance, copy it and paste it over here.
मैम पब्लिक IPv4 था मैम.
Ha, public IPv4, yes. and paste it over here. See, we have to follow the same steps that we did in the last lecture. Yes, yes, the public one only. After that, see on the left hand side, connection, inside the connection, SSH key is there. Click on it. AUTH, authentication is there. Click on it. Here, private key file for authentication. Here, browse button is there. Click on the browse button, and there your putty ppk file, the file that you have created. So I have created the 3 ppk files. You might have created only one, right? So select that file, click on open, and then click on the open button. You will get a screen, a black screen, where login as will, first command will be, there is a login as, like that. Just let me know once you finish with.
Ma'am, can you repeat again?
Okay, okay, sure. From the first one, like from opening
No,
application,
from authorization.
from authorization. Okay, okay. See here in SSH authorization, what they asked for, private key file for authentication. Okay, so we have already downloaded the ppk file, that is private key file, in the last lecture. What you have to do is, here browse button is there, click on it. Here make sure this file is automatically will come, this file name. Select the ppk file. Right now I have 3 ppk file. Okay, you might have only 1 ppk file. Please select that and click on OK, open button. After it, click on the again open button. This one.
I don't have the paper. Where can
In last lecture, you have created the ppk file, right? You were there in last lecture, no, Sandeep?
Yes, ma'am, I was there, but I was not able to do that at that time.
The ppk file, you are not able to do that. Okay, just wait a minute. Then you have to log in as a Ubuntu. You will get a message. Click on the accept button and then log in as Ubuntu. Done. Just Sandeep, do one thing. Right now, you just follow the instructions. Okay, write it down somewhere in the notes, and later then you perform, because again you have to download it, and again you have to do it. I'll say
Okay,
okay. I'll send you the screenshots of it, how to create the new this thing, new ppk file. Okay, I'll mail you. I'll mail you, or I'll simply upload it on the ERP.
okay.
See, are you getting this screen? Login as Ubuntu. So are you getting this one, like authentication with public key? If you are getting this screen, then please take a screenshot of it and highlight this point that you have already logged in as a Ubuntu. Okay, so now you take a screenshot. Please take a screenshot of it. Save it as a experiment 3 and highlight this Ubuntu. Done. Now next one, type sudo su dash this command. Done. Done with typing sudo su command. Yes, okay. So now you have entered into the root login and this is the IP, okay? Now next step is we have to install Docker. So Docker is a prerequisite for Kubernetes. So now what Docker is? It's an application packager, whereas Kubernetes is nothing but the orchestrator. So orchestrator, in simple words, it shows that it's a heart of your automation management of this package. Okay. So Docker puts your application and its dependencies like binaries and libraries inside the container. So that is called as a Docker container. Whereas Kubernetes stand for K8S, is like a conductor that automatically manage your deployment. These are the two terms. One is Docker, second one is a Kubernetes. Docker application packager and Kubernetes what it does, it automate the packager. मतलब उसमें जो भी रहेगा automated like testing, then deployment, then uh, coding and etc. automatically Kubernetes करता है. Okay, so we have to install Docker first. For that, please type this command sudo apt get update. Or better, I'll do one thing. I'll copy the command and I'll paste it in the chat box. Please paste this command. This is to update. Done. See what APT stand for. APT is nothing but your package manager, okay? And by default, it is there in this Ubuntu instance. Whereas sudo is what it just used to access the user account with sudo. Okay, suppose if you want to access Ubuntu, you have to use this sudo command. Okay, so done with this first one, first command, sudo apt get update. Just let me know yes or no. Yes, okay. So please take a screenshot of it once it is finished and highlight this command, this one. Please take a screenshot and highlight the command. Next step is install Docker. So to install the Docker, this is your command sudo apt-get install docker.io. So in the next line, please type this command sudo apt-get install space docker.io. After that, you will get a reading package list, building dependency tree. You will get a status of it, and then Docker will get installed in your Ubuntu instance. And once you are finished with installing, please take a screenshot of it and highlight this command, this one, install Docker. And let me know once you're finished. Okay. Done with installation of Docker. Yes or no? So that I can go to the next slide. Okay. Next one is check version. So now you have installed Docker. So which version is there, Docker? Which version of Docker is there in your Ubuntu instance? So to check it, you have to write this command: Docker space dash dash version. This one. Please type this command. See, I'll copy the big commands. Okay, not a one line commands. So please type this command. On the next line, you will get a Docker version. This one. If you are getting it, please take a screenshot of it and highlight this Docker version like this. Done with the Docker version?
Ma'am, please wait.
Okay. Those who have finished, you can type in the chat box, huh? So I'll come to know that. Done? Okay. I'll go to the next slide. Now, since we have installed Docker and we know the which version is there. To start Docker, you have to type this command: sudo systemctl enable Docker. So please type this command. Type this command and then take a screenshot. See, after this command, nothing will come. You're just simply enabling the Docker. Okay. Then next on the next line, they will ask for the another command. So nothing will come. So please take a screenshot of it. Done. Start Docker with the start Docker command. Don't make any mistake while typing the commands. Okay. See the spelling. Everything is in small letter only. Okay. So now next one is, now we have to verify whether our Docker is running or not. So for that, this command is there: sudo systemctl status docker. So please type this command. See here you can see as on the screenshot which I have attached: sudo systemctl status docker. And after entering, you will see a message as active running, means what your Docker is running perfectly. Once you have entered with the command, please take a screenshot, highlight this active running part and the command also.
Ma'am, we have to run the enable one also or not?
What enable? Ha, two
Ma'am,
commands. No, see this one. First type this command sudo systemctl enable docker. Okay, and then later type this command. See, both commands are written over here. You can see. Yes, you have to take a screenshot and mention, I mean, not mention, highlight this point. Active running, this one. Done. Now see here, lines end. Okay. So now how to come back out of this thing? Sorry, not doctor, Docker running status is you have to enter this command colon and q at the end of this line here. Type this colon and q at the last end and press enter. Then you will come back to the root user, which is written over here. Got it? How to come back to the root user? Here you can see line 19, see this one. Please type colon and q and press enter. Done. Now that's good, because that was little bit tricky to come out of it. So done with installing the Docker version, then checking whether checking and verifying whether the Docker is running or not. We'll go to the next one. That is last step is to install the Kubernetes. So are you guys with me? Like, am I going fast? No, right? For Docker and this thing. Or is anyone still doing the Docker version commands? Or anyone still lagging? Then type yes or no. So according to that, I'll go to the next slide. Next one, no? Okay, fine. Now see, install KHS. KHS is nothing but a Kubernetes. Okay, it's a short form of KHS. So whenever in Viva, if external may ask you what is KHS, don't get confused. KHS is nothing but a Kubernetes. So at that time, you are supposed to give explanation or you are supposed to give the definition of Kubernetes. Okay, so now to install the Kubernetes, you have to type this command. Now I'll copy this command. Just wait a minute. You guys can paste it in the Ubuntu service. So this is the command. So please copy it and paste it over here. After pasting it, you will get one message called as OK. Just let me know once you're finished with it. After that, you can take a screenshot of it. Now here one question will come, that why do we need to add the signing key? This one. Why do we need to add the signing key? So your answer should be just to ensure that the software is authentic or not. Okay, just to ensure the software is authentic or not. Because of that, we are adding this command. So please note it down somewhere in Viva if they ask you why Kubernetes signing key is required. So to ensure whether your software is authentic or not. That's it. Done. We'll go to the next slide. Now the next one is we have to add the software repositories. So for that, this is the command. So I'll add, copy paste it. So please copy this command and paste it into Ubuntu instance. Now the question is why we need to add the software repository. So your answer should be the Kubernetes is not included in the default repository. So to add them, we are entering this command. So please copy the command, paste it over here, wait for a few minutes. You will get this message, fetching and then reading package list is done. Once it is finished, take a screenshot of it, highlight your commands and highlight the last line, that is finished, done, or the status of your command. Let me know once it is finished. Then okay. I'll go to the next slide. Now we have installed the Kubernetes. Okay, we have added the software repositories of it. Now we need to install some tools, the tools which support the Kubernetes. Okay, so two tools are there. One is the Kube ADM. See here you can see KUBE. Kube is again nothing but a short form of Kubernetes. ADM nothing but a short form of admin, Kubernetes admin. Now you guys know what the role of admin, what admin does. He simply survey or he simply have a look on all the processes which are there under the respective admin. Okay. So similarly, Kubernetes admin is a tool which helps to initialize a cluster. It fast track the setup by using the community source based practice. Second one is Kubelet. Kubelet is a work package. Okay. So here we are going to add these two commands. Sorry, two tools. One is Kube ADM and second one is Kubelet. So for that, please type this command sudo apt-get install Kube ADM, Kubelet and kubectl. This one. Please type this command. And then after that, here they will ask, do you want to continue? Please type Y and then wait for a few minutes. So why do we need to install this command line? Because it gives us to access to the clusters. Just let me know once you are done with this one, kubelets. Done? Okay. I'll
Ma'am,
go.
please wait.
Okay. I'll wait. Those who have finished, just see the previous commands. Just see which concepts is clear or not. Just have a look. Yeah, you have to take a screenshot, highlight it, highlight the command, this one, and save it in the proper sequencer so that later you will not get any confusion. Then okay, I'll go to the next slide. Now again type this command sudo apt mark hole qadm kubelet and kubectl. These two commands are used to install the Kubernetes tools. This one and the previous one. These two commands are used to install the Kubernetes tool. Done? You will get this message. The ADM kubelet kubectl set on hold. It means you have successfully installed these Kubernetes tools. So if you are getting this message, please take a screenshot of it and highlight this command and save it. Done with this, the second command. Okay, once you understand, what about the others? If it is finished, we'll go to the last command. Just let me know once it is finished or not. Okay. Done. Okay. Now the last command is to check which Kubernetes version is installed. So you have to type this command kube adm, that is kube admin space version, and please enter it. Type this command in the terminal and then click on the enter button. You will get information about the Kubernetes version. Take a screenshot of it, highlight the points, highlight the command, and then save it. Done? Yes or no? Yes, okay. So this is how we have successfully installed Kubernetes on Ubuntu instance. Any doubt in this practical experiment number 3?